Welcome back to Reviews Inside TV, where we dive deep into the products that promise to elevate your experience and tell you whether they actually deliver. Today we're taking a close look at the Canon RF 85mm F2 Macro IS STM lens, Canon's mid-telephoto RF mount offering that aims to blend versatility, macro functionality, and bokeh-rich portrait potential in one compact form. If you shoot with Canon's full-frame mirrorless line like the EOS R, R5, R6, or RP, you've probably come across this lens and wondered, is it just an affordable entry into macro, or does it punch above its price point? The Canon RF 85mm F2 Macro IS STM lens brings together a 0.5x macro magnification, a bright F2 aperture, and optical image stabilization rated for up to 5 stops of shake correction. It also includes Canon's hybrid IS system, specifically designed to counteract angular and shift-type shake, something particularly handy in close-up macro situations. The lens weighs just under 500 grams and features Canon's now standard programmable control ring, allowing photographers to assign quick access to ISO, aperture, or shutter speed. It's tailored for Canon's RF mount full-frame mirrorless cameras and positions itself as both a portrait and macro lens. Setting up the lens was as simple as clicking it onto the R6 body. Lightweight enough to not upset balance, but solid enough to feel substantial. In field use, I put it through a wide range of scenarios, shooting portraits in natural light, capturing insects and flowers in macro, and even using it handheld for casual video content. Autofocus is smooth and nearly silent, thanks to the stepping motor. It isn't lightning fast, especially in low light or during macro focusing, but it's accurate. The F2 aperture delivers pleasing subject isolation with creamy bokeh, and while it's not quite as dreamy as an f1.2L series, it holds its own surprisingly well. The image stabilization works reliably, particularly when shooting at slower shutter speeds in low light or handheld macro shots. That said, at 0.5x magnification, it's a semi-macro rather than a true 1-to-1 macro, so those wanting extreme close-ups may find that limiting. The strengths of this lens are undeniable: sharp image quality right from wide open, a bright f2 aperture that gives you flexibility in low light, and a very usable macro capability. Build quality feels solid for the price, and the focus ring is well damped for manual tweaks. The image stabilization is a real asset, particularly when hand-holding for stills or video. On the flip side, autofocus could be quicker, especially in tighter macro ranges, and the lens does exhibit minor focus breathing, noticeable if you're using it for video focus pulls. Also, while it's well built, it lacks weather sealing, which would have pushed its appeal even further. If you're enjoying this breakdown so far, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that bell icon so you never miss out on deep dive reviews like this one, especially if you're into photography gear that balances practicality with performance. Now, when it comes to value, the Canon RF 85mm F2 Macro IS STM lands in an interesting spot. For the price, you're getting a dual-roll lens that works for portraits and close-ups alike. It's not an L series, so it skips out on the premium touches, but it doesn't feel like a compromise either. The price aligns with its performance, giving hobbyists and even some professionals a dependable, multi-use option that won't drain their budget. Compared to other RF lenses, the 85mm f2 stands out for being more affordable than Canon's RF 85mm f1.2L, which is significantly more expensive and heavier. You sacrifice a full stop of aperture and some build quality, but save thousands. Compared to dedicated macro options like the RF 100mm f2.8L macro, the 85mm isn't as sharp at extreme close distances and lacks 1-to-1 magnification, but again, the price difference is substantial. If you want a hybrid lens that leans toward portraits but still does macro decently, this is a very strong contender. Construction-wise, the lens feels durable with a polycarbonate exterior that still conveys quality. It's not weather-sealed, but the materials don't feel cheap. Over several months of use, the lens has held up well without any issues or performance degradation. Buttons remain responsive, and the control ring maintains a satisfying tactile feel. In terms of Canon's broader reputation, customer support remains reliable. While I didn't need to contact them for this lens specifically, Canon's general service network is well established, and firmware support for the RF system has been consistent across the board. If your budget is tighter and you're okay sacrificing a little bokeh and stabilization, the Canon RF 50mm f1.8 STM is a potential alternative. It doesn't have macro capabilities or IS, but it's lighter, cheaper, and delivers solid portrait quality in good light. For macro-only shooters, the EF 100mm f2.8 with an adapter might offer a more specialized experience if you already own EF lenses. To wrap it up, the Canon RF 85mm f2 Macro IS STM is a highly versatile mid-telephoto lens that successfully balances portrait quality with macro flexibility. It won't replace a dedicated macro lens for extreme close-ups, nor does it offer the prestige of Canon's L-glass, but it does meet its promises head-on. For hybrid shooters who want sharpness, decent bokeh, and stabilization without paying flagship prices, this lens makes a solid case for itself. It's not perfect, but it's practical, adaptable, and well-suited for creators who want a single lens that can cover a wide range of everyday shooting needs. Thanks for tuning in to Reviews Inside TV. You'll find the link to this lens down in the comments box. If you've used this lens or have questions about how it stacks up for your style of shooting, let us know below. We love hearing from you. Until next time, keep your focus sharp and your reviews sharper, only here on Reviews Inside TV.